This is a very special show. See, a little bit different than a special show. Very special show, in that we have two trusted professionals.
No.
Have both been on the show before. Attorney Larry Smith and the credit guru is Gary Novell, and we're going to talk about everything to do with your credit score. And so we have these two trusted professionals. Again, Attorney Larry Smith and Gary Novell. Woo-hoo. Keep it down. And we're going to learn all there is to know. So first I want to introduce Attorney Larry Smith. Say hello, Larry, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks a lot. My firm's called Smith Marco. I've had it for 15 years. I've been doing Fair Credit Reporting Act cases for about 21 years. And that's what we handle cases under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It's a law that protects consumers when it comes to their credit and their credit reports and the duties on behalf of credit reporting agencies and the furnishers of information to report accurately and to handle disputes properly. And
I like that when you talk about the furnishers, because that's such a legal term, isn't it?
It actually is in this instance. It's like that's the term that's used in the Fair Credit Reporting Act is a furnisher of information because there's different kinds. I mean, there are your creditors, there are collectors. There is the courthouses, public records. You get bankruptcies and judgments reported on your credit report. That comes from somebody.
A furnisher.
Right. Exactly.
So Larry is here to give us an insight into the legal aspects of the Fair Credit Collection Practices Act.
Fair Credit Reporting Act.
Oh, no, that's a different
industry that you mentioned.
There's the Fair Credit Reporting Act.
That's another one. I deal a lot with that. I don't deal with it because I don't bring those cases, but I do come across that often because collectors, right?
Yeah.
That's about collectors. The acronyms surprise me sometimes. We also have here the credit guru is Gary Novell. Gary's been on the show before. I've been on many shows with Gary, with David Hochberg. He's been on David's show forever. I think since
we started,
since the beginning.
Coming up on 18 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Gary, and what you do.
Well, my name is Gary Novell, and I am the credit guru. And what I've been doing now for over 20 years is helping people enhance their credit report, raising their credit scores, as well as educating them about how to handle and manage and repay their credit. Because, it's a crazy world we live in nowadays, and you have to have credit to get credit. You have to have credit to have a good credit score. But just because you have credit doesn't mean you have to use it, because credit scares people sometimes. So what I do is not only do I help people right now improve their situation, but I educate them as to what they need to do different in the future, because ultimately having and keeping a good credit score is all going to fall back on their shoulders. And the big problem now is nobody wants to teach anybody about anything. And there's so much misinformation and confusion out there by going on the internet and looking for things, which is what everybody does now, that people usually make the wrong move rather than talk to somebody that knows what they're doing. And that's a big problem.
Well, that's why I wanted to have both of you guys on the show to kind of make this all much more clear to people, because it is there is so much confusion about and it's so important. Your credit score is nothing. It's not something that you should take lightly.
No, it's what I like to say is, your credit score is so important because it's used in every aspect of your life nowadays. And, insurance, cell phones, cable, credit, mortgages, renting a car, stuff like that. You have to have credit. And there's just so much confusion out there, Steve. And the reason that I think there's so much confusion is there's a reason why. These banks, they don't want you to understand how this stuff works, because none of them really want you to raise your credit score.
Okay, now I'm going to talk to you, Attorney Larry Smith, about because there's laws about this, right? And they have real teeth in them, don't they?
Yeah, of course. I mean, one he's talking about, believe it or not, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. There's a law because that's a big problem, because creditors don't want you to know that much about it. They don't want you to know.
ECOA is what they call that.
ECOA,
right.
Equal Credit Opportunity Act. And it's a law that was enacted so that there would be no discrimination in giving credit, because they could just say, I don't like your zip code. And I know where that is, and I know what kind of people live there. I'm not going to give credit to those people. Mm-hmm. So there was this law enacted that said, if you're going to pull a credit report and make a decision, you have to tell them exactly why. I've got cases where they've pulled somebody's credit report, taken their credit away. Like, I'm reducing your credit line to the number that you owe right now. So now you're maxed out. And the reason is because your credit score is bad. And we looked at the credit. We're like, well, what's bad about it? It's not lower now than it was when she opened the account in the first place. So we sue under this law where there is discrimination in credit. There absolutely is discrimination in granting credit. And so that's an area of law that we're interested in as well. That's got teeth. Fair Credit Reporting Act has teeth because you're talking about your score and it's not where it should be. Why? One thing that people come to me all the time and they're always complaining to me about score and that's Gary. I say if you want your score to go up, go to Gary because that's what he does. He'll get your score up. I don't want to hear about your score. I want to hear, is the data on that report accurate? Because that's where the laws don't make the credit bureaus make your score do anything. The laws say to them, what you report about people must be accurate.
Better be accurate.
Right. And so what we do is we go after them when they're not reporting accurate stuff. So when people come to me and say, well, my score is not improving, I'm like, I don't care. Is the data on your report accurate or not accurate? If it's not accurate, we got something to do.
Now, Gary, when you work with someone on a score, one of the things you try to do is get inaccurate information off, don't you?
I deal directly with the credit bureaus, and I deal with each one of them individually. And when somebody hires me, I start by going after everything. I go after every bad thing that's on their credit report because you never know what's going to happen once you get the credit bureaus involved. And, people have problems. They had problems in the past where they have medical bills, maybe a foreclosure repossession years ago, and it's still affecting them now. And I go after this stuff to try to clean up their report as much as I can with people. And that's how you're going to turn yourself
sometimes
around.
You can get things off a report even if it's accurate because they didn't.
I get a lot of stuff off of reports that are accurate.
Yeah, so it's accurate. So that's not where you come in, Larry.
Right. No, I'm the guy that's like, if the inaccuracy is not coming off,
they won't take it off.
They won't take it off. I'm the one that's going to have to go fight and go to the mats for you there. That's what I do. Gary's going to fight anything just to get your score up, and I'm the one who's going to go, I don't want to hear about it. I just want what's not right.
Right. I deal with the credit bureaus, and then the credit bureau contacts the creditor. If the creditor responds back to the credit bureau that the information is correct, even though it's incorrect really, that's where Larry comes in.
It's a great 1-2 punch.
And I won't go to them. I will just be filing lawsuits against them.
That's right.
And a lot of times, all
that's
these
where you get some movement.
right.
Then
As soon as they hear there's a lawyer involved and we're going to file a lawsuit, the next thing you know, it's off your credit report.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's fixed.
Yeah.
This is a great 1-2 punch, and I've referred clients to you guys, and that's why I keep you guys. You guys are trusted professionals for this reason. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if you're having any issues, you want to get your credit score up, Gary Novell is our guy. You have any falsified reports, you give Larry Smith a call, and what you can do is go to Facebook, the Trust Radio Network, and you will see their contact information, and we will have that provided. But let's get your phone number, Gary and Larry, real quick.
630-624-9557 for any questions or issues about your credit.
We're Smith Marco at 888-822-1777.